everyone, it's Nikki here. So we are 9:15 right now. It's Wednesday. I'm all done work. I'm all done editing. Everything's all good. My mood is definitely improved. And I shouldn't really attribute it all to the sex, but like the sex definitely had a good part of it because like that was some good sex. That being said, I should be a little bit more concerned because I may have potentially almost died twice. And I'm a little sad that I can't say 3 times to make it my triple threat, but that's okay. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I don't know, was that dramatic enough for you? Before we get into that though, I'm cooking some food. I have some toast in the toaster, I had some cheese, I got some sausages on the stove, and I'm boiling some water for tea, which is almost all boiled, so I'm gonna have to go get the teapot soon and get the tea on the go. Aside from that, well, today's been a good day. My mood has definitely been elevated. The sex was amazing. Story times with Nikki. Let's recap about guys. Okay. I'm gonna go pee, get the teapot, and I'll see you in a sec. My toast has got burned. Burned. Okay. Well, that's what I get for leaving it in and then going upstairs. Rawr. So I had a choke, I used the washroom, and my water is boiling, so it's gonna be time to put the tea in the pot soon, or the kettle. But before we begin, I know some of you may actually probably hate me for going back to X'd out because of what happened last time when I went to hook up with him, but I did make sure that he was not going to be using my penis. I made sure beforehand, and I mentioned this in yesterday's video, like I told him my penis is 100% off the menu, so he found a way around that, and he was going to have some guy come over and hook up with him and penetrate him when he was done penetrating me. And then the guy was going to leave. He was going to come over at like 7 in the morning on his way to work. He didn't end up showing up, apparently, so that's a thing. But my penis did not enter him. I mean, he gave me a head, but my penis did not enter his butt. And I actually came. I let him, I don't know, it's rawr. I don't like using my penis during sex. I really don't. I used to use it all the time, but like, when did it become dirty? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, sex can be a good thing, again, I think, possibly. I like the sex that I'm having, like, don't get me wrong. I prefer the sex that I'm having, but like, I need to be more comfortable with guys playing with my penis, and maybe I don't have to. Maybe it can just be a thing that's completely off the menu, but I should probably get a little bit more comfortable with it again. And I don't know what happened because I used to be comfortable with it, and it used to happen all the time when I'd hook up with people, but then I don't know when it became no-no zone. I really don't know when it became a no-no. I can't remember when it became a no-no zone. Oh my gosh, this toast is so burnt right now, but that's okay. I'm gonna load it up with margarine. So I got home from work yesterday, and he had sent me a message, and he had asked me if I wanted to come over and hang out, and I was like, really for it, because at that point in time, I kind of had the intentions of finding someone to hook up with later through the night, but I just hadn't looked for anyone yet, so it wasn't like high priority, and I was sitting down and I was editing, or I was about to record, or I was doing something, and he sent me a message, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, opportunity presented itself. So like I said, he was going to have someone come over in the morning who was going to penetrate him, but that didn't end up happening. I'll stop talking with you guys. So how did I almost die? Well, honestly, from some really good sex, which it's kind of scary because I ended up blacking out twice during sex. Not for very long, like maybe, I don't know how long, and he didn't notice, so that's like the scariest part. But he didn't notice, and I don't know, like, I came to. Like, I definitely came to, because, like, I'm here today, so, like, rawr. But the first time we were cuddling, and it was probably the second round, and I was on my side, and he was behind me, and he was spooning me, and he was, like, putting it in my butt, and going in and out, and in and out. And he was just kind of like, you know, putting it in my butt, doing his thing. And he wasn't choking me originally, but I grabbed his hand, and I brought it up to my throat, and he'd squeeze, and I'd be like, squeeze harder, like, take my hand and put it on top of his, and be like, no, harder, squeezing his hand to let him know to squeeze my hand, or not my hand, but, like, my throat. And then he'd squeeze harder, and I'd be like, no, harder, and he'd squeeze harder, and he was choking me really good, and it was good, and I liked it a lot. I don't know why I like being choked. Like, I know part of it, and we'll discuss that after story time, but I guess I do know why I like being choked. Anyways, rawr. So I got to his house probably around like 12:30ish, somewhere around there, and it was good and it was fine. We had a couple drinks, we had some smokes, we sat there, we talked for a bit. I went to the room, put on a movie, he went to the washroom, he came back in, we sat down and cuddled, we hooked up, we cuddled some more, and we hooked up. And the second time we hooked up was the first time that I passed out. Not passed out, like blacked out. I don't know if it really is blacked out too, it might be a different word, but he choked me out. But like I said, like, I got him to squeeze me, and like, I get myself in these situations that are really scary sometimes, but I'm going with the flow, and I'm like having a good time, and like, yes, choke me, daddy, harder, harder, choke me. And then I get choked out. Rawr. So, like I said, I was on my side, and he was while he was cuddling me and choking me. And then I blacked out, and I remember, like, the sex was really good. Like, it was getting intense, and like, oh, daddy, harder. Oh, rawr. So after I blacked out, I don't really know what happened, but I came to, and like, I had this like big, like, I can breathe, and like, everything became visible again, and I could think, and I knew what was going on. I don't really know how to explain it, I just blacked out. Like, I was being choked, and then it was all black, and then it was not, and everything was back. And I don't know how much time passed. Like, maybe it was only like 5 seconds, maybe it probably wasn't very long at all. But it kind of scares me, but also like, damn, okay. It was some good choking. And I was about to tap out too. I know I felt it coming on, and I was like, okay, I'm getting really close. But like, I thought I knew myself a lot better than that. So I was like, 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds, 20 more seconds, 20 more seconds, 10 more seconds. And I feel like I was gonna tap out in like 20 or 10 seconds or something like that. And I don't know, I just like, give me a little bit longer, and then a little bit longer turned into blacking out and waking up a little bit later. So that's the thing. And then after that, he finished and he came. I'm gonna chew and swallow. So then after that, he finished and he came, and we laid there for a bit and cuddled, and then he got up and he went to go have a smoke, and I went out with him. And I was like, did you notice that I blacked out there for a little bit? And he's like, no, what you mean? And I was like, yeah, like, I blacked out. I don't know, like, it just went black for a bit. He's like, oh, okay. And we didn't really talk much about it at all, really, other than that. I was just like, yeah, I blacked out. No biggie, you know, I just blacked out. Oxygen deprived my brain to the point of passing out, cause like, rawr. The things I do though, like, I don't understand. Like, I do, cause like, if I had someone here, I'd be having their hand probably around my throat right now. Well, probably not right now because I'm recording, but like when I'd go lay down in bed with them, I'd be like, okay, choke me. But like, I don't understand like why I let myself go too far. Like, I should have known. I should have been like, no, at that 30-second marker, I should have been like, no, okay, give me a breath of fresh air, and then go back. Excuse me. But I didn't. I was like 30 more seconds, 20 more seconds, 10 more seconds, out. Or like, however it went. I keep throwing my cheese. So after our smoke, we came back, laid down, cuddled some more, hooked up again. I can't remember whether it's this one or if it was the fourth one. But again, he was choking me out, and I let it go too far, and I didn't tap out soon enough, and I thought I was going to be good, and I blacked out for a bit. This one was a little bit better, though. This one was like, not a little bit better, I shouldn't say that, but like, I'm twisted. How twisted am I, Rar? Anyways, so this one was a little bit different than the other one. I'm gonna put some more butter on these because they need some more lubrication. So, after he was me, well, I guess still while he was fucking me, I don't remember how we started. I'm pretty sure it was just like I was riding him, and then that's probably the one it was where we were flipping around positions all the one because he... Okay, so I would have started off riding him, and then he would have had me on my back, and then he would have had me doggy, and then he would have had me on my back again, and that's where it was. That's where he was choking me, and that's where I had his hand brought up to my throat, and that's where I didn't tap out again, and that's where I passed out. And that's where I woke up, being dragged over to the side of the bed. So I think that time he might have noticed that I passed out. He's like, oh shit, breathe, drag you out. And then I woke up and he's like, okay, you're awake. I'm flipping you around. And then we went back to fucking. Although he didn't choke me out anymore after that. And then we finished, and then I was like, I blacked out again. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. I say it with like a, oh, yeah, rar. Anyways. So yeah. What? We're gonna talk about where this all comes from too. I think. Shit. Y'all didn't see nothing. So after the final round, and we finally finished everything, I feel like it was 4. And not like long rounds, maybe like 20-minute rounds. For 20 minutes, cuddle for 10-15 minutes, for 20 minutes, cuddle for 10-15 minutes, for 20 minutes, cuddle for 10-15 minutes, for 10 minutes, on and off and on and off. On and off and on and off until we pass out. But we were supposed to pass out in bed together. And he was supposed to hold me. Or at least be there so that when I rolled over and touched him, he was there. Rawr! These are really done. Okay. Let's start getting them ready. So yeah, after the final round, he kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a smoke. And then I was like, okay, yeah. And he's like, are you coming with me? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay in bed and I'll wait for you to get back. Because we had already gone for like 3-4 smokes at that point in time. And I was tired of getting dressed and undressed. And I mean, yes, he gave me his clothes and it was nice to wear his clothes. But I didn't want to get dressed again. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay here. I'll wait for you to get back. And then he went out, he went for a smoke. I rolled over, and we were on the second movie at that point in time. Probably about maybe halfway through it. And I remember watching it for like 5-10 minutes maybe. And then I passed out. And I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he was not there in the bed. And I was like, okay, yes, it's not the first time we've hooked up. Yes, I get that. I'm not in a complete stranger's house. But, like, this is only the 3rd time I've been over to his house. So, like, I mean, I'm getting more comfortable, but I'm not comfortable waking up in your bed alone without you. So yeah, I woke up, he wasn't there, and I was like, okay, this is weird, but I need to use the washroom. So I went to the washroom, and then I laid back down in bed for probably maybe like 20 minutes, and then I woke up again, and he wasn't there. So I had presumed the first time that, okay, maybe he just went out to the couch to go, like, the dude like he said he was gonna. So I went to the washroom, and then I went back to bed. And then I woke up, and he still wasn't there. And I was like, okay. Question, what's up? Where did my guy go? I don't really know what's going on right now, but that's okay. And I looked at my phone, and there was a message from him, and I was like, okay, what's up? And I read the message, and he said, sorry, I had, like, really bad anxiety. I thought someone was gonna break in or something like that. I thought someone might try to break in or something like that. So I just kind of went to sleep on the couch, and I'm like, this is, okay, different, but, like, that's cool. And I was like, okay, that kind of sucks, but that's understandable, I guess. And on top of that, in the message, he had said, when you wake up, I just want you to kind of cab home. Because he had transferred me money to cab over again. So he transferred me $40 to cab there and cab back in the morning. So he had told me that when I woke up, to just kind of, like, get up and go and leave without, like, saying goodbye. And I was like, no, that's not what I want, though. Like, that's, no. So I kind of saw the message, and I laid in bed, and I was like, do I want to get up and leave yet? Or do I want to just kind of, like, lay here till he comes back to bed? Because it was only about 7:30, 8 in the morning at that point in time. And I didn't work until 2 o'clock, so I was like, okay, so I can lay here a little bit longer, and, like, maybe he'll come back to the bedroom because he thinks I already cabbed home, and then I can be like, oh, good morning, how's it going? And then he can lay down and cuddle. Rawr. Yes, I know, but rawr. Anyways, so I ignored the fact that he sent me a message. And he sent me a message at, like, 3 hours before 7, so 4:30. So he sent me a message at 4:30, and that would have been the time that I was laying down in bed being about to pass out. So I guess it was longer than 20 minutes round to each because I was there for 4 hours of being awake. Okay. I'd say maybe like 30, 40 minutes round each then. I don't know. I don't time them. So time went by and I was laying down in his bed and I got really bored of just laying there in a strange... I keep saying a stranger, but he's not really a stranger because I've hooked up with him a couple times. But not random, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? A different environment. It was weird waking up and being alone in a different bed, being like, this isn't my bed, but like, I'm just sleeping here and like, you know, whoever's bed it is just not here. Well, I'm like, rah. I don't know how long I laid in the bed till, but I was stubborn. I was like, no, I'm not leaving without at least hugging and talking a bit and being like, good morning. Like, no, I'm not. No. I wanted to stay the night and spend it with you. Rawr. So I got up. I went to the living room and I was like, X'd out. It feels weird. I went to the living room and I said his name a couple times and I poked him and then he woke up and I was like, morning, how's it going? And I went to go cuddle and he didn't want to cuddle. I'm like, wow. Rawr. That's okay. At least I know where we stand. I'll still probably fuck up again, let's be real, because the sex is good. And he was a gentleman too. Yes, I said he gave me head and he gave me a hand job, but he did ask permission each time before he touched me. Like, is this okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's alright, I guess. Rawr. So, like, I don't know, like, he made me happy with anal, so I was like, if that's all you want, you can touch it. But, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with my penis being used. I don't like my penis being used. Rawr. I know it's pitiful, but, like, it's not pitiful at all, actually. It's totally understandable. In my head, I have a vagina, so, like, I know that sounds weird, but, like, no. I'm a woman. I don't know if I'm gonna go through with bottom surgery. I really don't, because it's gonna basically shred my penis to rip it all up and, like, flip it inside out. So, like, that's intense. But I do know whether or not there is a penis in my pants, I have a vagina. So I'm not really comfortable with, like, so, like, I don't know, I'm not really comfortable with guys touching my penis, because, like, it's not my penis, but it is my penis, and it's, like, attached, and, like, rawr. But anyways, like, I'll get comfortable with it again, because I used to be comfortable with it. I really used to be comfortable with it, and, like, I was like, yeah, totally go for it. It's a beautiful penis, suck it, gag on it, rawr. But I don't know what happened. Egotistical, self-centered, yes, I know. Not self-centered or egotistical, that one's self-obsessed. Prideful? I don't know. Oh, you came unrolled, No! Rawr. Why you gotta do that? One is done, at least. Hot! That's hot. I'll let that cool down a bit. Anyways, as usual, where am I going? Where was I? Yeah, so when I laid down with him, he didn't really want to cuddle, but I was like, I'm just gonna lay down with my arms around you and, like, smother you, because, like, rawr, you just my ass 4 times last night. If he didn't want me to cuddle him, he could have pushed me off, or he could have said, don't cuddle more, and I would have got off, and I would have left, but I would have been sad, and I was like, oh. So we cuddled for a bit, and then he was like, did you call your cab? And I was like, this is the passive, subtle way of saying it's time to leave. Did you call your cab? No, not yet. I want to just come say good morning to you first. He's like, oh, you can call your cab now. I'm like, oh. Legit though. I have not had any tea yet. I want some tea. So after that, we went out to his kind of like sunroom porch area, and we sat down, we had a smoke. I called him a cab. He didn't even wait the whole time out with me. He didn't even wait out there the whole time with me. He waited for like maybe 5 minutes, and then I walked up to the door and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to see the lights from the cab from here. He's like, no, but I can see them from inside. And he bolts downstairs, opens the door, and goes inside, and just stays there watching. I should have fucking went to him, because I could have probably watched for the cab with him from wherever he was. But I was in my heels, and they take a lot of work to put on and off, and I didn't want to have to put them on when the cab was waiting out front, so that's also a thing. And I didn't really think of it that much either, too. But that's also a reason. I was just about to send him a message because I was getting awkward, really. It was really kind of awkward sitting there in his porch alone, because it was like, just like laying in his bed alone, and I'm like, rawr, what? Where are you? Like, we were throughout the night. You could at least wait until I leave to peace. He's not gonna peace, because he'll be back in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, sending me another message at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. But hey, at least this time he sent me a message at 10 in the morning, which is the whole reason we actually got to make plans this time. I wake up in the morning to messages from him at like 5:30 in the morning being like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, why do you think I'm up at, well, I mean, sometimes I'm up at 5:30, but like, rawr. Anyways. Oh, tea is delicious. So yeah, I was about to text him to be like, hey, I'm gonna wait for the cab outside, because I'm done just kind of waiting in your porch without you. I wasn't gonna add that part, but like, it's fucking awkward. Rawr. So I was in the middle of texting him. And then he comes out into the porch and he's like, cab's here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I gave him a hug, I gave him a kiss, and then I left. So yeah, actually with that, I guess I'm gonna be ending it here. If you've enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button down below, and why not comment something to make it a triple threat. My triple threat for the day is, this is my 3rd time that I hooked up with X'd out. And I will see you whenever I upload today's video.